years. He has also bought steel hull vessels from as far away as Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Holland, some weighing over 4,000 tons. Neville Wade takes center stage on Creole Heartbeat on Friday, March 22nd at 11 a.m. on Q95, the big station. Hosted by Prince Wadix and sponsored by Digicel, and will be live on the Q95 Facebook page. A mechanical engineer and mariner who built a stone crusher at age 22 and sailed to bring economic development to Dominica. Neville Wade. At age 80, he's building another boat and desires to restore boat building as an industry in Dominica. Join us on Friday, March 22nd at 11 a.m. on the big station 295 FM as we celebrate a nation builder and master mariner, Neville Wade, a proud patriot we must honor and emulate. A graduate of the Dominica Grammar School of the late 1950s from the town of Portsmouth, Neville Wade, the most legendary boat builder and ship captain in Dominica's history. He built his first boat at the age of 12 from codfish boxes and has built 15 boats over a career spanning 50 plus years. He has also bought steel hull vessels from as far away as Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Holland, some weighing over 4,000 tons. Neville Wade takes center stage on Creole Heartbeat on Friday, March 22nd at 11 a.m. on Q95, the big station. Hosted by Prince Wadix and sponsored by Digicel, and will be live on the Q95 Facebook page. A mechanical engineer and mariner who built a stone crusher at age 22 and sailed to bring economic development to Dominica. Neville Wade. At age 80, he's building another boat and desires to restore boat building as an industry in Dominica. Join us on Friday, March 22nd at 11 a.m. on the big station 295 FM as we celebrate a nation builder and master mariner, Neville Wade, a proud patriot we must honor and emulate.
Yes, I. Lakay Malad. Prince Wadix. Prince Wadix. Prince Wadix. Prince Wadix. Papou an wete ba moun plen la yon manj a kite la vi. Apresie sa yo ka fe kon yo a pa mi nou jodi.
Spécial bonjour pour tout le monde qui a écouté nous à présent, c'est encore un plaisir. Nous avons dit vraiment spécial bonjour pour tout le monde qui a écouté Grand Station National. Ça, c'est Grand Station Big Station Q95 FM. Et nous, là, messieurs, ça, c'est Wadix avec nous tous les vendredis. Nous avons une spéciale émission. Ça, c'est Paul Sancier Creole Heartbeat. Là, nous avons partagé des informations pour différents métiers, la Dominique, qui a partagé la culture, la Dominique. Ça, c'est via monde, tout ça. Et puis, John, là, nous avons parlé de basketball. Ben, nous avons dit spécial bonjour. Tout le monde a tout que la Dominique. Good morning, Dominica. Good morning, Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to another Creole Heartbeat program. And today we are going to be discussing the sport of basketball. And Blue, my very good friend, actually requested that we interview a few women. So we actually brought in a woman this morning. We'll be having also the president of the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association. That's Mr. Donnie Robinson. He should be momentarily with us. But already in studios, we have Primrose David, a female basketballer. Good morning to you, Primrose. You could get closer to the mic. Good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, Wadix. I am fine. Thank you, and good morning to the listeners.
Multi-talented, very cultural personality. Tell us a little about Primrose.
Oh, Primrose David is from the community of Massac. I am a cultural enthusiast. I love our culture. I currently own a business called Apari Adepadas Walls, which we rent Creole attires to people.
Okay, so you make the attires and you rent it out.
Yeah.
So someone want an attire for Creole Day, they could contact you.
Yeah, because the national wear is very, very expensive, and I have a few of those that I rent out every year.
Okay, and where's your facility located?
Oh, at home in Massac.
Oh, at your home in Massac. Yeah. But also sports, you're very instrumental in sports.
That's correct.
Netball and basketball.
Yes.
And tell us about your affiliation with the sport of basketball.
Okay, so I've been involved in basketball at a very young age. I used to go on the court with my brother, Javid Joseph, and he actually taught me to play basketball. So from since then, I am involved in basketball. I'm currently the president, general secretary of the Blazers Sports Club in Massac, and we play basketball and we will be participating in the league this year.
Okay, tell us about that particular club in Massa. Quite a bit of girls. What's the interest like among the young women?
Well, the club that I'm currently a part of is only male.
Only male.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
but
I've traveled with them in the past. I coached them in the past.
coach
So
the man.
that's correct.
Uh-huh. That's good. Interesting.
Yes, it is. But currently, we have a new group called Wings, and we will be participating in the DABA League female team. Yeah, and we're looking forward to getting more young women to form teams to be a part of the DABA League this year.
But what was the overall interest by young women? We know normally women would be getting involved in netball, possibly volleyball. But what is the interest like in basketball? Although I think just recently we heard of Verd Fountain, who's presently on a basketball scholarship in the US. And from all understanding,
Congrats
she's
to them.
doing pretty good.
Oh, yes,
A Dominican young lady from South City, Grand Bay.
that's correct.
She acquired a basketball scholarship and is doing pretty good. From all reports from the association that she has been excelling.
Yeah.
But what is the interest generally with women in the sport of basketball,
Well,
to your mind?
what you find is the same group of women playing sports. So the footballer, the netballer, the basketballer, all of them play the same sport. I also tried football at some point, but Kenneth wanted to put me goalkeeper, and I said, mm-mm, my face too pretty for that. But usually, it's the same set of women interested in sports. Yeah.
But why is it so then?
I'm not too sure. And I think the DAB have a lot to play in it because they haven't been doing enough. They're doing a lot, but they haven't been doing enough as it relates to female basketball. And I've been pressuring Mr. Robinson to have a female league, even if it's two teams we get to showcase female basketball. So gradually, every year, we can have 3 and 4, and then the interest will be there.
But is there some level within the school, the inter-school competition? It's my understanding that there's some level of women or girls basketball
Really? I'm not too sure.
going on in the schools.
Because I also played for my high school. I was the captain of DSC female basketball team at the time when I went to college. So I would be happy to know that we currently have those still in place for females, but I'm not too sure.
As a young female with so many challenges, especially the computer, the internet, social media, how do how would you sell the sport to get more interest in more younger women to participate in the more physical part of entertainment? And even those days, I mean, sports tourism is something huge, something big. You can get an education from a scholarship, also get be part of making some big money if in case you have the necessary skill set. How do you get people with that level of competition with the social media and other challenges to get interested in sports, in particular basketball?
Read technology. I'm a technical person myself because I'm studying computer science. Technology
Very
has
versatile, young lady.
yes, I am. Computer has its advantages and its disadvantages. So you, as a young person, decide which route you would like to take for yourself. You see something you're interested in, you go look it up instead of looking at the caution, social media.
Social media have
Then
its
you're interested in sports.
positives
You
and
read up about
negatives.
sports. You learn how to play because everything is online for you. Everything is at your fingertips now. So you just go online, you see what you're interested in, and you read up on it. That's how I learn about technology and everything that I involve in now. Read the internet. So thanks to the internet, I won't blame social media for anything. You decide what you want to watch as a young person. And basketball, not just basketball, but sports on the whole can help you mentally and physically because young people need to watch their weight, watch what they eat. And if you're involved in something, then it will help you with your mental health because mental health is very, very important because I lost a sister for suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. And I believe mental health is very, very important. So this is why I'm involved in many things to help me not just work and home, but work, church, school, sports. I'm very versatile, as you say. And time management is very important. So young people need to know to manage their time so that they can fulfill their dreams, set goals for yourself. And just be a great individual. Just be who you are. Find what suits you and do that.
Excellent. You mentioned you lost a sister.
Yes.
Real sad about it. How old
Yeah.
was she? Older than
She
you?
was in college at the time, so that means she was 18 years.
Wow. Suicide.
For suicide.
Frustration of the.
I cannot tell you what it was, but
You
it
saw any
could have
signs?
been.
The family saw any
No, we
signs?
saw nothing. We saw nothing. We know nothing. And finally, this year was my year to got over it. It's been 20 years since she's born. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, you have gone through a particular experience. Very few of us would have gone,
Mhm.
to have lost a family member through that avenue.
Very close family
And
member.
your
Yes.
sister at that. I
Mhm.
mean, this is home. You're talking about
Exactly.
home.
Yeah.
That family setting, that love, that camaraderie, and the assisting of each other, the sharing of information. How important is the whole structure of the home and the family setting, in the upbringing of young people, in particular young
Yeah,
girls.
family is very, very important. And I have to blame the young men for leaving their kids to the mom to do everything. No, it takes two parents to bring up a child. Yeah. And it's very important that both parents show their interest in that child, be there for that child, and raise a beautiful young lady or young man. Yeah.
Is it more challenging to raise a young lady than a young guy? Parents sort of, are easier with the guys.
Well, I do not have kids, but I have
But
a
then in
niece
terms of your
and a
peers
nephew.
and also your peers, I would
And
imagine.
both is challenging. Both
But
is challenging. So I have to say both is challenging. So if you don't want kids, don't go for kids. Don't go looking for kids at all. This is why I don't have any myself. But I have a niece and a nephew that I love very, very much. And every weekend, if they come over Sunday afternoon, please go home. Please just go home. Meet your mommy and your daddy because I had enough.
But you also said you're involved in computer science.
That's correct.
How do you balance your academics with your sporting life?
Time management. There are times I take break for school from school to do sports, which is not a problem. Everything in life takes time. You gotta have patience. So I time management. Yeah.
Do you aspire to be like possibly a professional sporting woman? I mean, possibly also good. You're also a netballer.
That's
But
correct.
are you?
I play for the Spartans team and we won this year. So congratulations to them. I
Wait
must
a while. So
mention
you
them.
are from the winning team.
That's
You are
correct.
celebrating.
That's
well,
correct.
congratulations from Creole Heartbeat
Thank
and
you.
DJ Shan.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
are the current netball champions.
That's correct.
And I mean, how does it feel to be
Oh, it
champions
feels
of
great.
netball?
It feels great. We won the year before and now we win again.
So
And then
it-
we'll win again next year because we're united. We're teamwork is very important. We train together. We do everything together. So when we return the court, we excel.
Absolutely, this is fantastic. We were referring to a while ago the balance between academics and sports, and even academic, sports, and entertainment.
Exactly.
Because those days we know the young people are very the entertainment is also a very contagious area, especially they love the activities, the high decibel activities, and dance and go out and
I don't see that as a problem because young people have to free up themselves.
Mhm.
Once they know how to manage their time, you can go to your fete, know how you behave at the fete, and then you make time for your homework. So you do your homework before you go to the fete. And don't use your lunch money to go to the fete. If you do not have money, don't go to the fete. That's all.
So not only just time management, but also you do your personal economics
That's correct.
in terms
My
of
sister is
conservation.
an accountant, so she helps me with those.
So in terms but then I mean you would be out there. I mean you play netball, you see your peers, and they react to the different conversations
Mhm.
and even sporting. I was just up in the time when conversations from the elders was a normal thing,
Mhm.
and it was like they actually giving you their experiences, and you would learn. You
That's
would
correct.
learn so that certain challenges that you may have to face in the future because of they actually guiding you. How it is for a young person like you? Do you get that experience exchange between, let's say, the older folks around you, that community sort of building a system around you so you can elevate yourself?
That's the only way you learn from people who have done it before you. You learn from them. So the elderly is very important to me. So I get advice from them to improve myself to do better. Yeah.
Now, in terms of getting back to the basketball, you presently, I think there is going to be a women league
There
as
better be a
far.
women's league. I
And
will force
Donny,
Donny to do that for
Donny
sure.
Lipla, Donny Robinson,
Robinson.
sorry. Donny Robinson is, as a matter of fact, he has just arrived. And I can imagine the traffic on a Friday.
Quite early.
Be seated, Sir Honorable Donny Robinson. Catch your breath a little, get yourself organized. We were just speaking to Primrose about, general women, young ladies in Dominica. So we're allowing you to catch your breath. And the first thing I'll allow her to give you the first question. I'm going to allow her. It's true she's a guest, but I'm going to allow her because she was demanding
That's correct.
that there is a women basketball league this year. So I'm going to allow you, Miss Primrose, to give. By the way, good morning to you, Donny Robinson. For those who don't know, former national player, also coach, and also a sponsor. Good morning to you.
Morning, Alex, and again, thanks for having us. Good morning to your listening audience.
And we know the traffic can be tough. I got a message from you, and you were out there trying to get commute through the Friday traffic. Whenever there's a tourist ship, there seems to be a serious challenge in the city. But once again, welcome to Creole Heartbeat. Welcome to the big station.
Yeah, thanks. Excited to be here to talk about female basketball.
Absolutely, and we're talking about basketball in general as a basketball boss. Yeah. But I'll allow you to give Donny the first question. Direct on his chest, first thing.
Mr. Robinson, will there be a female basketball league this year? Not for advertisement, but a league for the young ladies to showcase their talent through the act of basketball.
Wow. DJ Shad, should I recruit her as possibly one of my co-hosts with Julie? Of course, man.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, but I'm happy I have a good answer for you. So yes, there will be a female national league this year. We're looking to get it started as soon as the knockout version of the league is done. We most likely looking at about 5 teams as we sit there today. That could increase. Hopefully, after this program, we can find some more young ladies that are excited and want to join. So yeah, we definitely looking forward to having that this year. It was a disappointment last year that we couldn't put up a field more than one team last year, and basketball for females typically have been more an exhibition level from the 5-on-5 standpoint. But this year we're going to change that. We've done a few things in the past, but yeah, to answer your question directly, yes, there will be a female.
What happened to the AGM last night? From the news I got, you didn't, or you could not fulfill a quorum.
Yeah, again, it was rather disappointing, because here we are on the verge of launching the league tomorrow. And always the AGM is and typically, you find when there are no elections, the urge for participation in meetings such as those are diminished. But what we try to do is just share information, share our vision, let the teams know the plans. So it was rather disappointing that we couldn't have it, but we've put it off for tomorrow, right after the launching of the league, and the intent there is that since you must be present to deep and participate in knockout leg, then we will have a quorum by default, and as such, have the AGM right after the opening lunch.
In terms of, you mentioned about the quorum, an executive was carried to be elected last evening.
No, we had
the continuation.
No elections. We just actually just the normal annual general meeting to share information, give it an update on last year, and basically update on plans for the coming up season, and to get some feedback from the general membership. But there was no scheduled election. So,
but as we look at the state of basketball, I mean, where are we done in terms of the sport of basketball, which used to be a major sport several years ago? We know we have had several challenges, Hurricane Maria, also COVID-19. You couldn't have that contact sport. But where are we presently with the sport of basketball?
I think after last season, we made a decent comeback. It's still not where I think we want it to be or where it was before. But the interest from playing standpoint, I think, is there. I just think what we are lacking now and what we suffered the most from, and we see in that is the organized team kind of basketball feel that we used to have. So we had a spot where I think we have a lot of work to do, but we've made some stride, at least having completed a good league last year, having done a few things in the past year and a half or so. A lot of work have been done, but we really need to do better at getting the popularity back, getting basketball back in your face, and let everybody know what we're doing and seeing what we're doing.
In terms of facilities around, because we know there are several teams based all over Dominica now, and we also have that indoor facility down at Massac. In terms of facility, what can you report to the big station, the QFM listeners, as to facilities around Dominica, playing facilities? Because if we're going to have a league, you would want to know the status of the league, playing grounds or pitches, or how you call them, the courts, yeah,
Yeah.
the basketball courts.
Yeah.
That is. Before we actually go to the official covered venue, let's talk about out of the city itself, and then we will sort of climax with the facility at Massac.
So there are a few facilities out there that we are definitely looking at for having league games. Marigot, for one, Marigot just had a good off season about 3 or 4 months ago. It's well attended, good facility there. So it is one of those that could hold or host a few games. Pishley has a very good facility as well. Grand Bay has a decent facility, and Bay Bush has a decent facility. So these are the top four. And again, if you look at the teams participating, that's really where they are centralized. Portsmouth has a young team, but Portsmouth facility is under repairs right now. We would have had games in places like Trafalgar, but Trafalgar facility needs some work, and the team is not participating this year. So we're looking at these four as the main ones, and obviously the hard courts in Roseau as well, in addition to Massac.
So how important, I mean, that covered facility down in Massac, I would imagine would be like your main facility for the major games.
Yeah, it is. It is for two reasons. One, it allows us to run a league that we control. We control the start and end of the league because we don't have to deal with the elements, right? The weather, etc. The second thing is it's obviously the best playing facility in terms of surface, in terms of backboards, accommodation for the fans, and overall just an uplift. Is it's something to look forward to, in my opinion, coming from the days when everything was done outdoors. It would you can well imagine growing up playing outdoors, and your league games are held in a facility that has just never been playing before. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I still believe Massac indoor facility should be what the norm is in basketball courts around the island. But
Correct.
we have to start somewhere.
You wanted to add something, Primrose?
I'm part of the facility management team.
Oh, you're part of the facility management. But tell us about a little more about the facility. I mean, it's a wonderful facility.
It is, and it serves multi-purposes.
What is your role? What is your role?
I am the PRO.
Of the
of the facility.
So are you renting the facility to the
That's
basketball
correct.
association?
Yes, we are.
Why? I'm just asking.
Because we have to upkeep the facility. We have to maintain the structure, maintain the surface for them to have basketball on it. So they have to rent it. Yeah.
At a reasonable fee, or
no problem. We can try that. We'll discuss it. Yeah.
Because if they are the national association where they're going to be representing the island, you tend to wonder why a fee for, let's say, the national association.
Well, if our facilities are enclosed, so they can raise money for the gate. So if they advertise the sport properly, then they'll get people to come in, and then they'll have money to pay the rent.
Okay, so Donnie, you heard from one of the members of the the management of the facility down there. While it's the premium facility, you have a fee to pay. In terms of the order courts in Dominica, it's free. So that challenge continues because you almost virtually can't, or very little can be collected outdoors.
Yeah.
So then you have to use that facility. In terms of the game, getting the game, a plan for marketing, a plan for getting more people to attend the games, getting the games out there on the media, on the big station, so that even people listening to us now can be more kwa with what's taking place. Bring us up to date.
So yeah, we again, these are the kind of things we want to address and bring out to the general membership when we have the AGMs to let them. We're starving for participation, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, we have there's a 7-member team that try to run basketball year round. So we have a few subcommittees, and one of them that we're trying to really push this year is the marketing aspect of the sport. Making it a household event again, like it used to be. So yeah, we're working on subcommittees, and but more importantly, like I've mentioned before, we're really trying to get some partnerships going.
Partnerships.
Yeah, and I want to spend 2 minutes on that because
Yes.
there is a big difference in the way we're looking to approach it this year is partnership as opposed to just a sponsor. We want to bring corporate citizens on board. We want to bring businesses on board that can feel that they have an active part and some level of influence on what we do. So in a nutshell, what we're trying to do instead of coming and ask for your money, is coming and ask for your pledge of support. And over the period of our 8 to 9 months of activities, we would, based on whatever you pledge, we would come and make representation to request or draw down from that pledge. So therefore, you coming to you and say, well, we want to be a partner, but you don't have to write me a $10,000 check today. But you pledge $5. Tomorrow I'll come and say, well, we need $1 to go to Paybush, so this is where it's going. This is what we're doing. Can you, hand down one of the dollars from the 5? That kind of thing. Because from a business standpoint, it's a challenge to approach and get the kind of funds that we really need one time to run the league successfully. Or not just the league, we have to run basketball. The only downside is the league is our only true source of revenue. That's the only place we collect monies. So we have to anticipate running a league and be able to run basketball out of the league for a year. And that's a challenge. So that's why we want to go into a partnership. We will still do, accept donations and sponsorship, but I think it's different if you make a pledge and you feel that you have an influence on a certain event or a certain part of how that money is spent. And not necessarily, we might not even draw down all the funds to a pledge, but you would know directly what you're doing and be part and get all the mileage that goes with that.
Budgetary, in terms of budget, what cost? I mean, you can just give us an approximation to run a league, a full-fledged league. We know of the facility in Massac, but most of the other facilities are outdoor and actually no area for an entrance fee. Roughly, in terms of a budget, how expensive it is, and in as much you're going to commence the league tomorrow, are there any major sponsors or partners on board?
So we have some prospective partners on board, and the good thing is, so I'll go straight to the budget. The budget is about $50,000.
$50,000, 50.
Yes, we run the league for about 4 months on average, and every aspect of it is a cost, from officials to the facility to transportation when you have to go outside, to table officials, like I said, every part of it. Getting advertisements out, whatever it takes, and it actually, it's that $50,000 budget is really tight because the real life situation, if you have to, we give stipends to officials, for instance, and it's
so you're now giving a stipend to the officials.
We started that last year,
which is very good.
Yeah, and the only way you can do
officials,
that,
referees,
yes. and we call it table officials and referees, everybody. But the only way you can do that is to have,
because prior to that it was free.
It was voluntary.
Just voluntary.
Yeah. So you kind of start seeing the challenge because if you want top quality and commitment, it's going to come at a cost. So yeah, we're looking at about $50,000 on average. That's just for the league. That doesn't include anything outside of running the league. If you have to go to a tournament, if you have to do some training, if you have to do some uplifts to anything, if you have to acquire some uniforms, and the list go on and on and on. So yeah, it is an extensive budget, but I think this year we will get some partners on board, and hopefully we can improve on things like the stipends and the events we can participate in, etc., etc., etc.
A lot of the teams, like you said a while ago, are based out. Fishland, Grand Bay, Paybush. Are they paying their transportation to come, let's say, to the various areas? They have to play a game, let's say, out of their vicinity. They themselves pay their own transportation.
Yes, so that's one of the realities of it. They pay registration to the league, and their only recourse at the end is hoping that they win the league and get some prize money. We are not at the point where we can subsidize that yet, but these are all the things that, based on the level of partnerships you get, that we are thinking of doing. Obviously, taking the games to the districts will minimize that as well, but it also minimizes our revenue stream. So it's a balancing act. I think we have to work some collaborations with the district teams in particular, those that are willing to host games, and see how we can be creative doing that.
We are here, Creole Heartbeat, special program with the boss of basketball in Dominica. We now know opening the lines. We also have Primrose with us. She seems to be multi-talented. Let's go to the telephone and take a line for the both. A call for the both. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat. Hello, good morning, Creole Heartbeat.
Good morning, Radix.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
What are we doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Doing okay. I'm cooked and curry on a Friday. You have a question for the boss of basketball?
Master Donnie Robinson. It's not so much a question.
Tilling. That's Tilling. No, they recognizes the voice.
It's not so much a question, it's just once again giving kudos to Donnie, for taking up the mantle too.
We lost Tilling. Okay, yeah, continue Tilling.
No, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. It's not a question really, it's just and a comment.
Yeah.
It's just giving some kudos to Donnie. Giving some kudos to Donnie Robinson for, taking the chance to, because I had a concern a couple of years ago when I realized that the basketball was taking a turn to this 3-on-3. And a number of times I called in and you cannot develop basketball by playing 3-on-3 basketball. There's no way you can develop basketball. Donnie would know that. But I think that was the emphasis on past association. But, and listening to Donnie, it has to be a challenge, you see, because, and while you see, goes back to the question of Winter Park, that central place, basketball home. And for a sport of basketball, which has done well in Dominica over the years, it's a shame to see where it is right now, I think. Just listening, when we used to be at the Winter Park, at one time we had to pay lights. We had to contribute to the lights.
Yeah.
It was the only thing, but it was an open court. But that was the home of basketball. That was the Mecca, But it has reached a stage where I listen to Donnie that you have to pay some kind of stipend. It has to be a stress.
Well, yeah, especially if they're not charging in the outer districts.
Yeah,
it do definitely be a stress if they're using the basketball. But then the people actually managing the facility need some subvention or some.
Well, I understand that. That's understandable. But you see, as I said, it goes back now to the home of basketball and to the.
We seem to be losing you, Tilling, in and out. You seem to be going on in and out.
No, okay. And to develop this sport, it takes a lot more than that, But again, I think the emphasis is supposed to be on really development because we were at a high, and then we hit a low. And I think it's time that the basketball, because you hear a lot about, you hear people talk about the better players and the best this and the best that, but that is not manifesting in what we're seeing. Here we have some good talent and stuff. We have some guys go up to college. But the real basketball, and I say, the 3-on-3, that cannot develop basketball. Cannot. It's like 10-10 cricket. You can't develop basketball 10-10 cricket, 10 and cricket 10-10 cricket. You got to play full-fledged cricket, 4-day matches, 5-day matches, 2-day, 4-day matches to develop. Let players get time to play. Like basketball, you need this whole court. Let guys run up and down, get fit, and do the scrimmage, and develop the different aspects of the game.
Try and round off, Tilling.
Huh?
Try and round off because we want other callers to come in and contribute.
I say once again, kudos to Donnie. The pity, it has reached that stage, and you have to try and fight it. But Donnie, I think you're trying the best, and kudos once again.
Thanks so much.
Being part of that dream team of 1992.
Well, you like one thing. You like to boast that dream team, Tilling. Where you see it there? Tilling, you love to boast that dream team, eh?
But what if I will go on record as saying, and I can be challenged, that was one of the best Dominicans produced.
Okay, Donny, is that true? Is that so, Donny?
I'll support that.
Okay, Tilly, congratulations again. We just getting a question there to ask Donny about the Windsor Park court. Are the rims repaired? It's a question coming in from a caller. And are the rims repaired? And the Rosa based teams need a place to train and play. So that's coming from a listener. Donny, what is the status of the basketball rims at the court?
So
At the Windsor Park hard court?
I'm aware that the basketball stanchions have been repaired. They are due, from what I was told, this week, next week, they should be erected.
Okay.
There were some issues, the springs and stuff like that were damaged that have since been repaired, received, and installed. So, from what I'm aware of, it should be up and available for practice during this coming season. So, in a matter of maybe a couple of weeks.
We also heard you were scheduled to do the Creole tours sometime, I think, last month or this month? Last month, and it was put back to sometime later this month. I think it's a very interesting and tournament. Tell us, bring us up to date as to where that tournament is. And you can come in, my course. I give you permission to come in. Because it's very, just the mere name, Creole, to involve some of the finest Creole islands around us. We are a Creole people, and the Creole tournament is in the making. I think this is big news.
Yeah. The Creole tournament was pushed back to May. I think it's May 7th or so to the 12th. And
we have another caller coming in. Let's take the call and then we'll come back to the Creole. No, good morning for Donny Robinson, the boss of basketball in Dominica.
Hey, Wadix morning, and Mr. Donny Robinson and the young lady from Maho.
Master.
I just called you to compliment you on sports and music and the contribution you have given to Dominica. And I just wish the people in the higher bracket, like the Minister of Sports, can see the role you're playing. People like you and Peter Pross, you academic, like in the music, you could hear Peter Pross always talking about the timing of our carnival, and you, Wadix, what you have doing for the music and the legends and the people who we all forget, and you put up signs of our musicians all over the island. And I just wish one day that minister and them could listen to you and listen to what all you want to do for the next generation for Dominica. Wadix, that's Ronnie. Have a nice day.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, caller. And may God bless you well. We try to at least elevate our people. The mission is to bring up our people so that collectively we can continue to develop this beautiful rock. The Creole tournament, Donny?
Yes. So as I was saying, it's been pushed back till May for various reasons. I think it's important that we express our gratitude for the tournament being pushed back first and foremost. It was pushed back simply because we were not able or ready to participate, and it's important that we.
Why were you not ready, Donny?
Financially, we were not able, and from a participation standpoint, preparing the team was a challenge. So at that, and on the 9th hour, we had to say, well, we're not ready.
Okay.
Not a popular decision, but I think in the long run, it's better for basketball, and that's the goal here. So as we speak now, we have a 16-man squad that is selected, and we'll continue to train once the league gets going in preparation for May. And the second leg and final leg of that tournament is scheduled to be held in Dominica sometime in August, and we'll continue to ensure that we have the best representative team by August to win this championship.
And tell us about the various Creole teams that will participate in this league.
Yeah, so it's going to be made up of a couple teams from Guadeloupe, two teams from Martinique, and 2 teams from St. Lucia, and our national team.
And that written leg, it's like all 3 other teams will be coming down to Dominica sometime in August.
Yeah, so the first leg is essentially to get all the teams apart from Dominica qualified. So every island will have at least 1 team coming to Dominica for the finals. And by default, it being Creole and it being held in Dominica, we
have a caller coming in?
We've already qualified for the finals. So
okay, a caller coming in for Donny Robinson, the boss of basketball. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to know what relation is Mr. Robinson to Cindy Robinson. She is a young lady who went to the Goodwill Secondary School, I think, in the 90s.
Yeah.
And she is the first girl basketball player that I knew. I just wanted to ask Donny, what effect do you think that the lack of facilities, open facilities where people can just go play ball and have a good time, is having on the sport of basketball in Dominica, or even influencing young women to take up the sport? Because growing up, I knew there was right in front of the St. Alphonsus Catholic Church, I think it is in Portersville.
Yeah.
There was always a court there. There was always young people there. And that is where I remember Cindy playing basketball. I'm not even sure if the new Goodwill School being built has that type of sporting facilities included in it. But what does he think about the lack of sporting facilities? What effect does he think the lack of sporting facilities, open facilities, have on young people being interested or wanting to play the sport of basketball? Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you very much, Biden. I think a very critical and important question, Donnie.
Yeah, so first and foremost, Cindy's my first cousin, so I know her very well. So I know she played.
Boy, is she rough.
Yes.
For woman, Cindy rough.
Yeah, she's my first cousin. She loved basketball back then. I will I'll answer to a bit and then I'll pass it on to my my help. But open facilities, obviously, like everything else in any sport, facility is critical. But I think especially for females in basketball, which is what we're trying to focus on, it has various facets to it. If there are limited facilities, there are limited competitions, there are limited schools playing, there are limited coaches, there are limited, there's limited talk and exposure about it. Everything's going to suffer. It's an equation with a lot of moving parts. Currently, as we look at female basketball, yes, open facility might be a challenge, but the good thing is you have female basketball now back in schools, at the school level. Yes, competition, a matter of fact, I think it was ongoing as of last week. It was still ongoing. What we are lacking, again, is the structure behind and the support that goes with it, starting with female basketballers in administration, female basketballers in coaching, and having the competition that they can look forward to. Not necessarily worried too much about the level, because that will come after, but having those things available along with the facilities, I think are all moving parts to what contribute to the level and participation of basketball by females.
Primrose?
Okay, so the facilities, yes, is a problem. However, we cannot just sit and wait for the facility to come. What if it's never come? So I think we can raise funds to upkeep the facility that's already there and train there. We don't have to wait. Enough time we just wait for something to happen. Why not be that one to do something in the meantime while nothing is being done? We just do what we can, train, like the ABA run the league, and we participate in the league.
And I mean, let's just go back to the facilities, Donnie. I mean, like the caller said, Portersville was open. Even the Windsor Park itself was like opened. There seemed to be some, some level of, how you call it? You have to go for some process now to attend or to go to the Windsor Park. So it's not as easy as before. I mean, you could go, Bath Road was always available. So you had basketball being played anytime and year round because these facilities were available. There's some, security measure at the so-called Mecca of the Windsor Park hard court. How can we break, this sort of what do you want to put it? This sort of security, and what kind of level of discourse we need to have, even if with the Ministry of Sports, so that it can be more open. Because Windsor Park was a place, like I was mentioning to her earlier, the legendary basketballers would be able to talk to the younger basketballers. There was that level of exchanging of opinion, ideas, experience. These guys would watch you play and would actually mentor you as to your weaknesses. That is not available, though.
No, I think two things have happened. I think with the diminishing of the availability of those openness, you have one or two facilities that are upgraded. So like the Windsor Park, the Massacre, obviously. And then these facilities are so-called protected. Now, in the effort to protect those facilities, you limit access. And once you do that, then you don't have the free flow anymore. So first and foremost, I think what we need to have is we need to upgrade what we call basic level.
Yeah.
And to me, the Windsor Park hard courts is what we should call basic level. So then you don't have to feel that if it stayed open, somebody's going to vandalize it, somebody's going to, tear down the fence or something, or the backboards because they are springy and glass, somebody going to destroy it. Because that is actually what the basic facility should be. Now, in the absence of that, you must have facilities that are to a certain level, because that's just where we're going.
More calls for the boss of basketball and Primrose here this morning. Creole Heartbeat, good morning.
But it's boy, I didn't want to call back, but I had to call back because I don't understand the logic. You cannot pay less and expect to improve. And that is it. That is it, what I'm hearing. You play less basketball, you play less cricket, you play less football, and then you want to improve. How that gonna work?
Yeah.
Man, the more you play, the more you improve.
Well, I mean, we all know, like I said, the same Mecca, Windsor Park was open 24/7. And Windsor Park was open for all sports. That's the thing with Windsor
Yeah,
Park.
you see, and in the name of development, that is what has happened. Now you will limit the amount of time you spend on the court. And how you can improve? You can't improve. Man, you got to practice and practice. When the legends were here, that was the whole map. Practice, practice, practice. You got to play. You cannot play less and improve. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, man, my brother. Thank you.
Shooting the ball, passing it, dribbling. You got to do that.
Agreed. I agree with you 100% because I recall the days, and yourself would know, Donnie. I mean, it was non-stop.
It's crazy, man.
Even football taking place on the other side, basketball would be going on. I mean, non-stop until
you got
night.
to play. You can't play less than expected improve. All that got work.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. In terms of youth basketball, as we speak, Donnie, we have about 12 more minutes. Youth basketball, and even the coaching, certified coaching in Dominica, where are we?
Will be a challenge, to be honest. FIFA wiped out all coaching certifications a few years ago. We've had a few courses that have opened up for our entry-level coaching, not just coaching, but also officiating. And we're in the process of trying to get at least one person into that would become a train the coach certified, put it that way.
Mm-hmm. And a particular certified coach will coach other coaches.
Would coach other coaches. Mm-hmm. Now the challenge with that is like I said before, is the entry level requirements. The prerequisites are still stringent on our better coaches or more experienced coaches. Again, part of it being the hiatus in basketball for the past 7 years, and just the absence of stuff like regional competitions and stuff. But we are it's one of the pillars of our development plan moving forward to get coaches and officials or better certified or better prepared with outside intervention for sure and exposure. One of the things that we've agreed, even with tournaments like the Creole tournament, is that we are going to have officials represented so they can get some exposure. So part of our team contingent, we wanted to include an official or two. And that's the only way we can start, apart from getting them certified. The youth basketball, the inter-school is doing well. As for basketball itself, our vice president is the coach of the inter-school. They won the last inter-school, both male and female, by the way, which is promising. But again, the gap exists. Past that, what happens? You step out of high school or college, what happens? What is the club structure like? Who's mentoring? Who's coaching you? Are you just going to play on a team that you can get more minutes, or that kind of stuff? And that is where we are going to the next level. What we're trying to really push is the club structure. We want to make it mandatory to have a club so you can register. And we are doing it this year at the Premier Division level. And hopefully, as we go forward, we'll do it across the board, because that is the only way you can have continuity and development.
Tell us about a little more about your development plan.
Yeah. So the development plan, as it comes from general basketball, apart from running the league and getting officials and coaches up and running, we want to get female basketball on board. We've done a lot for female basketball that has gone under the radar because, again, we don't have that prize, which is our national league, for them to participate. Our 3x3 committee has been run by a female for years, Miss Rema. Her the one taking over is female as well. It's Curlin Luke. Curlin Luke is also a female coach in the league, and her team was in the top four in the Division One last year. She also represented us in a free XP tournament that we had females represent a year and a half ago. And all these things are first time. But like you said, the ultimate prize really is to be able to run a good female league with good participation and get the female infused about playing basketball again. So that's one of the key things for our development. And obviously, along with that is partnering with the schools, getting more involved so we can tap into the youth players. For instance, if you don't go to a school game and that player is not playing in the league, you don't get to see that team or that player. And we want to be able to, like, you remember the days where you had students, Grand Academites, guys who in school playing in National League. Today you have teams like the college, in my opinion, that if you win a national school tournament under 20, you should be automatically registered in the Division 1. So things like that we want to start doing so you can see players, they can play against bigger and stronger players.
Just so information, we had we played for the St. Mary's Academy and we also played First Division.
Exactly.
Yeah, with guys like Philip brothers, Smokey Philip, and we had our own
back in the day.
Alec Vollier, and we actually taught with that particular team. In terms of you are also a sponsor, which is critical. The boss of basketball is also a sponsor of basketball. Tell us about that.
Well, basketball, actually I do basketball because out of the love of the sport. And I will say it again, and I've said it before, I would be a different person if I didn't play sports. And basketball, along with those that don't know, I was a national athlete as well. Basketball and sports on a whole is very intimate in my life because of what I think I have been able to benefit from it, not just from a material standpoint, I think from developing as a person. So I've always been sponsoring basketball and sports on a whole. It's a challenge because I think we can still do more as sponsors, not just giving in terms of financial assistance, but being more involved, being more interested in what's happening. I could easily sponsor a team and just walk away. But
are you currently sponsoring a team?
Yeah, actually, I sponsor a club. I sponsored Blazer Sports Club. And on top of that, I sponsored the MVP of the National League last year. It was the first time that the MVP was given a cash prize. And it was a substantial cash prize. The MVP got half of what the team got for winning the championship last year. And I take pride in doing that because I want to give back.
What's the name of your business, Donnie?
The Threads.
It's important to know because people may hear and may not know. Let's take in a caller. Sponsor. He's also the boss of basketball and he's just Mr. Basketball. His father. I would love to ask him the influence of his father on his life. Okay, good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat, for the boss of basketball and Primrose.
What is good morning? I'm calling from overseas.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I'm a Dominican, a true-born Dominican, love Dominica. What is the question I want to ask? If they want to protect the Windsor Park, why can't the Windsor Park open at 5 in the morning? So people who want to play basketball, maybe some elderly want to exercise and stuff like that, could come out and enjoy it, and then close it about 10:30, 11 in the morning, and then reopen it at 5, so those who want to exercise or do sports in the afternoon could do between 5 and then until about 10, and then you could have a park where you accommodate all our local people, and also when we have the big activity, so it can be still protected. That's my question. Why can't they make a schedule where we have a time when the Windsor Park is available to the people, the local people in Dominica?
Thank you very much, caller. Donnie, you want to comment on it?
Well, I think that's a valid point. Again, as one of the users of the facility, hopefully not the custodian of it, we don't get the chance to make the decisions. But I think it's a valid point. I think at some point it has to become available. That's the bottom line.
To my mind, I just think the park should be open every day, and that's my mind. That's Waddick's. That's not Donnie. That's not Primrose. The park, I believe, the park should be open around 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. And I mean, yes, as usual, you have the normal security in case anyone want to do any vandalizing, that sort of thing. But I think if you want the sport to develop, you need different people coming at different times to utilize the sport, utilize the facility, because that is what it used to be like. I mean, Windsor Park was not only a playing facility, it was a place where you could get mentorship. You could meet people, and I mean, this was like school, away from school. It's like our unofficial sporting school. That's where you would sit down on the stands and discuss everything. On the other side, in the basketball facility, there was also stands available. So, I think let's take our final call for Donnie Robinson and Primrose. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat. Yes.
On Carnival Day, I alone on my body living so back in.
Yeah, don't the volume of your radio or television set, please.
Yeah, telling you, no further on the practice because I need to school. I move talking there.
Hey, Muku, just load on your radio, man. That's Muku. You should know Muku.
Okay, I can't know you now.
Yeah. Make it quick, Muku, because we're almost getting set for the news.
Okay.
You went there on Carnival Day and what happened?
Yeah?
You went there on Carnival Day and what happened?
I tell you, on Carnival in the 70s, I alone on my ball.
But of course.
Both Monday and Tuesday and Sunday, I alone on my ball.
But of course.
You see, if I don't want to train now, and if it was the stadium closed and just put up everybody, that's why it's going down.
I know. Thanks a lot, my brother, for calling, but we have to move.
Play big game, and after when 12 run Carnival,
But that's how it used to be before. You play first, and then you go and jump up. I mean, those days, that was the interest of sports during those days. You don't get that. Whereas those days, I hear sportsmen taking leave to go and jump up. But Donnie, once again, it was a pleasure to have you here. And Primrose, just before you go, what would you like to see this year? Most of all, what would you like to see for the entire league? Yes, the women's league, but what would you want to get out of that particular league this year?
Well, I'd like to see the commencement of the league.
Which is tomorrow.
That's correct. That's what I heard. But he haven't expounded on it as yet. So I like to see the commencement of the league, and then we can move forward to have a wonderful league this year, real women and real men.
Absolutely. You can recall the teams. I know we have several teams taking part this year.
Well, we know for sure Blazer Sports Club will be taking part.
Okay, and
the Wings, because I'm on a female team called Wings.
Wings.
Yeah.
You want to fly?
Yeah.
Okay. And Donnie, can you recall how many teams in the various divisions?
Yeah, the Premier Division, we have 7 teams registered. I heard this morning we might have a late common team, but we'll see how that goes.
Is registration still open as we speak?
Registration is closed, but we, again, in the interest of basketball, we will accommodate.
If one comes later today.
Especially the women. We'll definitely
open for the women section. Yeah. Once again, thank you very much, my brother, for coming. Let's hope that we could really take the sport back to the pinnacle it used to be in Dominica, the interest, most of all. And let's hope that we can get some partnerships going, like you said earlier, for the sport of basketball, and not only financial partnerships, mentoring partnerships, so we can integrate that sort of discipline and pride into our sport again and allow the country to elevate. Thank you very much for coming, and may God bless you. This was another Creole Heartbeat program. Donnie Robinson and beautiful Primrose, multi-talented Primrose, who was my co-host here this morning. DJ Shan, until next week Friday, may God bless you and may God bless Dominica. The News Major comes up next on the big station.
Yes, Takaimalan, Prince Madix, Prince Madix, Prince Madix, Prince Madix. Papou an wete ba moun plen la yon manj a kite la vi. Apresye sa yo ka fe kon yo apami nou jodi. La fte mouve valet ye non nou ka konsipe moun ebi.